All right, welcome to CIT 105. Today is August the 17th, 2021. And so let me share my screen here. We're going to be talking about PowerPoint today. And so, of course, I'm going to go to the Start button. And of course, you can go down your list of P's and PowerPoint should be there. If you have it also pinned to your Start menu, like I do here, you can launch it from here as well. If you want to pin it, you just simply right-click on the link here and select Pin to start. And then if you already have it pinned to the Start menu, then it will show an unpin. Okay, you can also go into the More and then select Pin to Taskbar if you want it to appear down here with your commonly used or most frequently used apps. You can also go into the Type here to search and then start typing in PowerPoint, and it should come up on your best match list here. Okay, so I'm just going to click on PowerPoint from the best match. And it's going to take a moment for it to come up, but eventually it will. Just like all the other apps in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, PowerPoint has some subtle differences from previous versions. And so today we'll take a look at some of those subtle changes. Now, when you first get into PowerPoint, of course, you have basically a list of the files that you have recently used. So they're under the recent area. You also have pinned and shared with me. So pinned just means if you commonly use a file or you want it to come up all the time or be available all the time so you don't have to search through all of your files, you can simply roll your mouse pointer over it, and then next to the share you have a pinned little pin there. Now I've already pinned the welcome presentation here. Okay, but simply, let's see. If I go to final week, CIT 105, and there's the little pin there. So you simply tap on it, and then it becomes like an unpinned little image. And then there is the pinned list again, and there's the one that I just added. And it'll tell you the date that you pinned it. Okay, now if you share any files with anyone, say for instance you're working on a group project, you know, with other folks, of course if you use OneDrive, you can share those files with other of your classmates, and it'll show you exactly, you know, who it's been shared with. So these here are files that have been shared with me. And so, but you get the point that you'll know who shared files with you there. Okay. And, you know, conversely, students who you share files with will see that shared with me list. And so they'll know exactly who it came from. Okay. So I'm just going to scroll up a little bit, and we see that the templates are listed here. These are just some of the more commonly used templates, but you do have a More Themes button. Once you select that, you get to see sort of, you know, a full list. but in that regard, it's still not completely full. Okay. And so what do I mean by that is you can come here to the search bar, search for online templates and themes, and actually type in a keyword or a key phrase. And they also have suggested searches down here for you. So if I was to select business, then it would bring up, online templates that relate to business. So you have templates that are not necessarily stored on your computer, but they are available. Okay, so you can just, search through the ones that interest you. Say, for instance, this one here. If you click on it, it'll give you some kind of like brief synopsis of, what this presentation is, is all about. Now, you can use the arrows here on either side to go and look at other templates as well. And if just like in Microsoft Access and Excel with the templates, once you're ready to go, you click create. Now this is different from Access, remember, because Access had you to actually, if you used a template, you have to give that template, that database, an actual name. But with all the other applications in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, you don't. You just create and it generates that that file for you, and you can name it later. Okay, so I'm just going to basically get to a new blank presentation. Now, one of the new things that Microsoft has added is the ability to do design ideas. Okay, so what happens here is if you go to add something to a slide and you add a keyword or a key phrase, then designs related to those keywords or key phrases will begin to show up on this design ideas list. So let me just type in a keyword such as pecan. And then I'm going to, of course, we know pecan is a nut, right? So let's see if there's any nuts that appear in the designs. Well, there's one. Well, nope, that's pasta. But you kind of get the idea. It's going to change the design ideas based on the keywords or key phrase that you type in. Okay, and maybe that wasn't really a good idea. So let me try.
I thought it was. It was like, it did look like, little pecans from afar, and
Yeah,
it was pasta.
right.
Maybe you should just type pasta, You didn't know.
Yeah. So I like pecans or
Me too.
pecans. And so it was a good idea.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm just going to type in college or university here. And then I'm going to click off so that it can generate those ideas. And let's see what, now it's just stuck on this pasta, isn't it? But if you keep going through the list, surely it's going to change to reflect something other than food. So let's see here, class. Maybe it didn't like college. I don't know.
I love how they have different, like, they kept the pasta, image of the theme.
Yeah.
And then you can move the theme around the pasta.
Right.
That's neat.
Yeah. So now the design ideas is only available for folks who have the subscription version to Microsoft apps. And so which you can purchase the Microsoft apps without, doing the monthly subscription, because that's normally how they deliver it. you know, if you do that, then you won't see design ideas. Design ideas is only for the subscription version or the monthly, you know, folks who pay a monthly fee. Yeah, it's just stuck on this. So let me close design ideas. I think maybe because I selected it. So let me try new. Let me do a blank presentation. Let me close that one. Don't save. And then I'm just going to do class and the university here. Let's see if the design ideas change. Okay, so they've changed a bit. Okay, and you can just simply keep clicking on that see more design ideas. There we see pencils. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to come up with something like a classroom or something. Well, let's try typing in classroom and see if, yep, so there we go. So it's based upon what you type onto the slide. That's basically where I was getting at. Now, some of the new things in PowerPoint, as I mentioned, you know, not a lot has changed with PowerPoint. They've just added a few things here and there. So when you click on, say, for instance, home, I did not have the ribbon sort of, you know, pinned or available all the time. And so how you do that is just open up one of, you know, one of the ribbons just by clicking on one of the tabs and then coming over to the far right and it says pin the ribbon, or you can use Control and F1. And that basically makes the ribbon stay put. Okay. Now, if you want the ribbon to kind of go away, you go over to that same area and there's a little, like an up arrow, but it doesn't have the rest of the body of the arrow, and it's just to collapse the ribbon. Or you can do the Control F1. So it's kind of like a toggle. Control F1 turns on and off the ribbon. Okay, so that's something, you know, that's sort of new. And then dictate, of course, and you'll find this throughout the Microsoft 365 apps. You can actually talk what you want to type into a slide or into a document or, you know, into a worksheet instead of typing it. So that's something new. And then, of course, our icons, the clip art went away in the 2014 version. So now we have icons. So you go to the Insert tab on the Insert ribbon in the Illustrations group, you have icons. And so once you click on icons, you then have basically a query that you're running, okay? And you can base it off keywords or key phrases. So if I wanted something like college, okay, or university, okay, or I could professor, okay, and then choose the one that you want, okay, and then click insert. So these are considered to be icons, okay. Now it's a little different from clip art in the sense that clip art you really couldn't change it. Okay, well, with the icons, you can add color to it. So if you come in here in the graphic styles group And this only appears, this graphics format only appears when a picture or when an icon is selected. Okay, an object is selected on the in your slide. So this is the graphics format contextual tab, meaning it only appears if the icon is selected. And of course, it is selected once we first add it to our slide. Okay, so we can come in here and say, for instance, graphics fill. We can, roll our mouse pointer over it in the live preview and see that the color is changing based upon, what we roll our mouse pointer over. And it's changing to that color to fill it in. The outline the same way, it would just do the outer edges of the image.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also do the graphics effects where you can add shadows to the images. There's one down here, 3D. You can sort of change it and it's sort of covering it up, but let me bring it down just a little bit so we can actually see what happens. So you see how the image is changing as we roll our mouse pointer over it, because I'm not selecting anything. I just want to see what it's going to do. Okay. And then you also have options down here, more options. And from here you can even, rotate it even more based upon something that you want. You could add artistic effects if it's available. Doesn't look like it's available, but you get the point. So you can make the image glow by certain colors. You can change you can move the slide just a little bit. You can make it transparent. Okay. You can change the edges. Well, that just changed the whole image, but you get the point that you can, further customize any icon that you put into your slide. Okay.
Yes.
And the same with pictures. So if you were to, to add a picture, you could do the same thing to that. Then they have this alt text, of course. We talked about the alt text before. The alt text is you basically describing what an image or a picture looks like. Okay, and so you're doing that just in case someone views your, your presentation or your document or your worksheet, that may have images in it, but they can't really, maybe they can't see it. So their screen reader would tell them what it is. It would describe it to them if you filled out the alt text on it. So if you click alt text, there's a box. You see how it says Professor Female with solid fill? You could actually go into there, and be more descriptive with blue fill. Okay, and then once you are finished giving it the description, you click on the drop down arrow and select close. So you're making your presentation more accessible. Okay. What else? New are the 3D models, and they're changing all the time. So again, in that illustrations group, 3D model just means that, they're rich images that have been, some of them have been animated. So you see all animated models, or you can do animated animals, animated for education. So this is something new, and that's why I'm going into it.
Absolutely. I was like, this is clearly brand new.
Yeah.
They never had this in any Microsoft Office.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've had these images, but I haven't saw
Anything like
them
this.
like categorized like that. So
Oh,
that's why I wanted
nice.
to go into it, because I've seen this one before, and I've
I,
seen the dinosaur.
oh, wow.
This looks
Very new
like
for
maybe
me.
the seafloor. Let's see what
Yeah.
this is. Yeah, but it is pretty interesting stuff, and you can waste a whole bunch of time, whole bunch of hours in, messing around with images. So,
Absolutely.
or at
And I
least
was the
I
type of
have.
kid, see, I was the type of kid where I was like, smart, I guess, well, I'm smart enough or figured out how to, when we had clip art or basically where you'd be in this, I would figure out how to find different ones from like the internet. Like I want other 3D models to put in my PowerPoints, and I would spend hours like downloading the files, putting them where they're supposed to go, just so
Yeah.
I could not even use them. I don't even know, but I could
Hmm.
see how you could definitely take a lot of hours. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
cool. I've never seen anything like
So
this in
this is like
oh.
the current flow, I guess, in the ocean.
Yes.
So that's
How
what
it's
it's
cool at
showing.
the bottom, the heat rises to the top.
Hmm.
Yeah, I assume the ocean floor is very, very, very cold.
Hmm.
Wouldn't want to experience
Yeah, I'm
that.
thinking that they should really study that more so than outer space, because there's so many things they don't know about the ocean.
So many. The ocean is the space. Space is it theoretically it's more scary than the ocean because the ocean is it's there and then space is infinite. But the ocean's way more scary to me than space.
Oh
No.
yeah, me too.
I like the ocean. I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love the waves. I'm definitely called to the beach. But when it starts to get real deep blue,
Hmm.
that's when it gets scary to me. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's scary to me because I can't drink all that water. And
I just, the creatures that are at the dark part, who a
yeah,
lot of them we haven't even seen or discovered. I don't want to
right.
be the one to be around to discover them or them discover me.
Yeah, I understand.
It's, you
Yeah,
know,
I completely understand. Now,
that's their territory.
Microsoft, yeah, yeah. Microsoft has a
Wow.
whole category with Microsoft stuff. So,
Wow.
of course, they do Xbox and the Surface. Um,
Wow.
so
This
that's
is
that's
so
another
interesting.
category. I know.
He's
Pretty
like,
cool. Like you could lose a
yeah,
whole bunch of time in here.
absolutely.
But the animals, by far, the animated animals have got to be the most, well, the heart really isn't an animal, is it?
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's like the
Well, maybe this
chambers
is
of
the
the heart.
models.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
What is that?
what? Which one?
Oh, that plant thing? Is it?
Right here?
Yeah, that's kind of
Oh,
scary. I didn't mean for you. That
right.
wasn't even a real question. It was rhetorical.
Right.
I was
It's
just like,
not
what
an animal, right?
is
So
that?
let's bring it into the slide and see what what's going on there.
All right.
It looked like that. You remember that movie? Well, you may not. You may be too young. But there was a movie called Little Shop of Horrors,
I've heard. I've never seen it.
and they had like a plant like this that was like a talking plant.
Oh, did it eat people too?
I think it may have.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
Little House of
really
Horrors
think.
sounds
Oh,
like the
look at
type.
the mouth open. It looked like it's
Yeah,
got teeth.
absolutely.
So
Like
that.
Venus flytrap, but big. So for people,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah. So when you add one of the 3D models, you see that there is a contextual tab for the 3D model,
Yeah.
and you can actually change the image from what
Wow.
view, from
This
what
is like
view.
definitely some 2021 to me, and I'm a techie, so I'm like, whoa,
Yeah. It's
this is
pretty neat stuff.
this is
Yeah.
pretty
And the
interesting.
good thing about it is they're changing all the time. So that's
Wow.
the whole benefit to having Microsoft 365, the subscription version, which we all have that. Faculty, staff, students, we all have the subscription version with KCTCS. The good thing about it is they make updates to it automatically, and automatically we see those updates. And so you may get, like, when you go into an application, it'll say what's new in PowerPoint or what's new in Excel because they added something.
Okay.
So the whole benefit of having the subscription version is to get the latest and greatest updates.
Okay.
So, but there's so many things that you can do with this. Look at this. You can add different scenes for the model. Okay.
This is wild.
Yeah.
Like me coming
Pretty
from,
cool.
I've been on the computer a very long time. I don't know, in my lifetime. So, you know, I've always been kind of good at the, you know different things. This is some new age. This is pretty cool.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you. So I mean, that's, you know, some of the new stuff, you know, that they've added. The screen recording in the media group. Now you can record, you know, your screen and stick it into your slide. Of course, they've always had the audio, or at least for as long as I can remember. The video, you can actually add online videos like from YouTube or, you know, from any online source. So when you click on online video, you basically paste in the address to the online video. So it could be on YouTube or Hulu or whatever. You just paste it in there and then you can insert it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you know, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to think, the draw tab and ribbon is not new, but some of the features are, you know, sort of, let me get rid of this animation because it's distracting. But some of the little features, you know, have sort of changed a little bit. So let's say in other applications, you know, normally you're selecting stuff with your mouse. Well, here you select it with the lasso. So let's say I wanted to draw a square, okay, or a box. And sorry, my screen kind of goes out when I use the drawing tool. And I'm not going to make it perfect. You never make these images perfect. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let me undo.
Technology.
Right. Let me undo. And let me redo, get rid of that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this with the lasso. And you see how the lasso is weird looking. So I'm just selecting it and I can, you know, basically whatever shape it is, I can click ink to shape. And let's see if it'll, well, I thought I selected it. I really didn't want to keep this, but let me just undo and try it again. Computer's been acting really, really weird. Now, if you want to be perfect, let me go back. So I can get rid of that. I didn't realize that I had added so much to this.
We've gone through a lot of different objects.
Right.
A lot of different things. It's weird you can't click on it, you know, delete it. I'm like, at least move
No,
it.
it won't let me.
Or lasso, it won't let you
Let me
lasso the
do
whole
this.
thing and move it. That's so weird.
No, I
Can you
tried
erase
it.
it? With the like, is there an eraser
Yeah,
tool?
that's what I tried to do.
That's weird.
But it's not wanting to do anything. So,
Okay, well,
but my computer's just it's reached its shelf life, I think. So
technology.
oh, you're good. Look, it even came back on the new file.
See, that's like, you know, maybe
Uh,
just make a whole new shape and then go from there.
right.
We'll just ignore it.
So I'm gonna go to draw. And let me use the ruler because I'm not really good. So if you use the ruler, one good thing about it, let me clear this title off here. And you see the ruler and it says 45 degrees. That just means that it's at a 45-degree angle. So what you could do is click and drag the ruler and move it around. To where you need it to be.
Right.
So if I was to say, for instance, I wanted to draw a line, I could along that ruler, and you see it's like a little black line right to the right of the ruler. And let me select the ruler and move it away. So the line is sort of perfect. Okay, well, almost. And so I could move it to the right of that line, draw, and I could come well, didn't mean to do that. Just make another line parallel to that one, well, almost, and then move it. Okay, and then I could lasso. Well, you gotta do the lasso to include everything. Let me move that ruler, take it off. This is not cooperating today. Let's try the lasso again. Okay, that's big enough. Okay, so, and so then I want to choose like, let's see if it finds a shape that, so I went to click ink to shape, and that's the shape that it created.
Well,
But you can also like draw a shape, just free flow, you know, by hand. And so if I draw a circle, you know, drawing a circle with a mouse is not really,
the
you
most
know,
efficient,
right.
most exact, if you will.
But let's see. Or at least I haven't figured out a really good way to do it, but it's almost a circle, right?
Yep.
So I could click that and then use the lasso to select it. Okay. And then select ink to shape, and it will change it to the perfect next image, basically. Oh, did it change it to a square? I guess my circle didn't matter. But you get the point that it'll try to convert it to what you want it to look like. So let me try another little circle. Ink to shape. This one should be a circle now. another square. Jeez. Now, if it doesn't convert this to a circle, I'm really the worst artist.
No, that was both are very good circles. See, there you go.
There we go.
You got it.
So it will convert it for you. Okay.
Okay.
And the same with your writing. If you have bad handwriting and you're trying, you can draw something out and do ink to text, and it will convert it to a, you know, a more perfect handwritten image. And the same with math symbols. Nice. So, and this works in all of the apps that have the draw features. Okay. Nice. So design really hasn't changed. Transitions, they are always adding new transitions. Nice. But overall, not too many changes. Of course, they add new animations. All the time. Not too much has changed in the slideshow area. Let's look, review. Translate is probably the newest thing that they've added. This is where you could actually type something in your native language and then select the text and it'll translate it into, you know, whatever language you need it to be translated into. So let's say, for instance, you're giving a presentation and you need the presentation to be in Mandarin, which is, you know, the native Chinese language. You would choose Mandarin on the list after you type in, you know, everything that you want to say in English and use translate and it'll convert it for you. And it does that with many languages, not just Mandarin. So then I'm trying to think, is anything new here? No. And then, of course, as we've discussed with the other apps, going into the help system is always helpful if you have any questions. And then, you know, you can actually see some training by video. Of course, it's not someone talking to you. It's just really on screen, an on-screen demonstration. And then they have the what's new here. So the latest new thing that was added. Yeah, I thought that was new. Rehearse with coach. So, excuse me. So this is presenter coach, and I've actually never used it, but it says here that it helps you prepare in private to give more effective presentation.
Ooh,
so
that's nice.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. So that should be, oh, that was on the slideshow. So it's in the rehearse group.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you can rehearse timing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the caveat here is you have to be signed into your Microsoft account. So as long as you're signed into your KCTCS account, that's your Microsoft account.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, and like I said, they add little new things here and there, but it's not so dramatic that, you know, you'd open up the application and not know where to go. So any questions so far?
No, none so far. Okay, you can hear me. None so far. I've been learning all new stuff. Definitely lots of stuff, again, that I have not learned in the previous PowerPoint. So per usual, I'm definitely learning new things, and I don't have any questions on them, but pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So what screen of mine are you seeing right now?
I see my forehead. Okay, now I see your calendar.
Okay. Because it kind of took me, it didn't show me that. Let me minimize this. Okay. Let me minimize that. It didn't show me that everything was selected. That's what it wasn't showing me, the little red square around my screen.
Oh, your screen to show that it's screen. Well, yeah, I still see your screen.
Yeah, that's what the little draw tool does. It messes everything up, especially when you're giving a live presentation. So,
yeah.
Some of the other things that I guess, you should be aware of in PowerPoint, just like the other apps, is going to backstage view by selecting file and, actually tapping on these things, because there's actually some really helpful stuff that's in here. You can actually change, the title of your presentation here. You can add tags. Tags basically help you to find your presentations that you create. So let's say, for instance, you've got many presentations, but and they all look, maybe they have similar names, but if you add tags to them with specific keywords or key phrases in them, you can search for the tag and find the file that you need.
Okay. Neat.
Also, you can go to export and you can actually create a video, of PowerPoint. So if you can save your presentation as a video.
Oh, okay.
You can also create animated GIFs, or animated images as well. So pretty
of your
stuff.
whole presentation?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, you can create animated GIFs, and if you click on it, it'll tell you what it does. So it saves your presentation as an animated GIF.
Wow.
So it preserves all the animations, transitions, media, and ink, and it does not include recorded timings.
Okay, that's a lot of memory for a GIF. That's a heavy, heavy piece of heavy piece of storage. Like one GIF, you can put a whole presentation in one. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Now this here, the package presentation for CD, this is for those instances to where you get to maybe somewhere that doesn't have an internet connection, and maybe you can't get into your Microsoft 365 account. You would prepare your presentation, to be offline.
Okay.
So that's basically what that is. That's actually been in PowerPoint for probably more than a decade. Okay.
All right.
You can also create handouts. Then you can create handouts under print as well. So well, they moved it. Well, no wonder. Okay, so I guess your handouts would be here. So you would basically, it would basically put the slides and notes into a Word document.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, you can actually create a PowerPoint just from a Word document. Okay.
Yeah.
And you may not have heard about that before, but it is not that complex. So if you go into Word and let's say you go into outline view, okay. So I'm just going to create some words, my new slide, your new slide, and these are just the titles of the slides. Okay. And this is all because I'm running out of words. So I'm just going to put Southwest Campus, Downtown Campus. Okay. So basically I have 4 level 1 or headings, okay, for this outline. So I save the outline and I'm going to leave it as my new slide, okay? And yeah, I can save it into my OneDrive KCTCS, that's fine. So when I close out of this document, it's called my new slide. I can come back into PowerPoint and was this the old one? Yeah, I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to select new slide and then I can select slides from outline.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I select slide from outline, then I'd have to go to my OneDrive KCTCS where I saved my new slide, the file, and I find it here. So then I just double click on it. And all of those headings become their own individual slide.
Wow.
Okay. So you see we have my new slide. There's your new slide. There's Southwest Campus and there's Downtown Campus.
Neat.
Now, if you wanted to add text to it in your actual outline, which was my new slide, you would then add a different level. So you would still be in outline view. So let's say here, this is level 1. You just simply go to demote. And you see how it's under that my new slide. And so okay. So let's save that. And I'm going to get rid of this. We know that it's fresh. New slide, slides from outline. And you see how it's on the same slide, but now as bulleted list. So you can create a document, an outline in Word to create your slides.
Efficient. That is something I did not know.
Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. You just got to get in there and sort of play with it, just like all the other apps. You know, it's definitely something that, you know, you got to find some time to do, but you know, it can be done. Also in Backstage View, you have the ability to share your presentation. Okay. So you can share it using your OneDrive, and all students have the ability to do that. Okay.
Okay.
Or of course you could attach a copy, attach a PDF of your presentation. Yeah. So pretty neat stuff. And then your account feedback and options, of course, these are the same options that are available in each of the Office applications. Remember how we went and did dark mode at the beginning? That's what that is. And then you can customize the ribbon. So there are things that are on the ribbon that are available to be on the ribbon that we don't have on the ribbon unless you are doing some extraordinary things. Okay. So recording and developer are not necessarily on the ribbon automatically. These are really for advanced, you know, advanced things. So you have a host of other options available to you if you bring those to the ribbon. So let me click on developer here and I'm going to click OK. And so it's its own tab, of course. And you see you can add Visual Basic, which is a programming language that basically helps you to extend the capabilities of the Office applications or the Microsoft 365 applications.
Okay.
Macros, you see that word that we sort of talked about when we did Access. Macros are automated steps. Okay, like if you wanted to add a button to a slide to make it to do something else. So you could do that in here. And then of course, here's controls where you could add a checkbox. You could add a list box or combo box, you know, to do different stuff. So there's all sorts of, you know, more advanced sort of techniques for all of these applications, not just PowerPoint, but all of them, where you can, you know, do some incredible things. And we actually teach two separate classes after this class, and how to do the more advanced stuff. So this is just foundational. You know what I'm saying? It's just foundational for all students at Jefferson. But we teach CIT 130, which is kind of like the intermediate, you know, but still more advanced than the intro class. And then the 200 level class is a class that prepares you for the Microsoft certifications.
Oh, how would we get to learn about being in those classes?
Well, you can, you know, I know that you signed up through Workforce, Workforce Solutions, but when you sign up through Workforce Solutions, you technically become a Jefferson student, right? So just like any other Jefferson student, you would simply go to Jefferson's website, jefferson.kctcs.edu. And from here, you would click on current students. So under quick links, you simply select current students. And here's all the resources for students. Okay. And so, of course, anything to do with classes is going to be academic resources. Okay. And this is where you can look at different classes here, Visual Schedule Builder, where you can look at different classes, you know, for each semester. Okay. So I'll just open it so you can see. And I think they limit it to like 2 semesters. So
usually they do.
Yeah. So you should be able to see fall. You should be able to see the fall semester now. And then in October, you'll be able to see the spring. But they do have them both listed here. So you would just, you know, look through, you know, say for instance, if you wanted, you would just type in CIT, and it'll show you all the CIT classes. Yeah. So it's pretty easy to use.
Thank you.
So do you have any questions on any of the PowerPoint stuff?
No, it's been pretty much all straightforward. Again, I've learned new things, but they haven't really been questionable. It's just new things I've learned. As of right now, no, that's about it.
All righty. Well, awesome. Well, let me know if you have any, you know, any other questions after we get off today. I'm going to make your voice thread for PowerPoint available, and also before the end of day, the quiz for PowerPoint, or your presentation quiz. But let me know if you have any questions.
Gotcha. Is our project also available?
Yeah, it's already available.
Okay.
Yeah, the project and the sim books are already available. The only thing I have to make available now is the voice thread and the quiz.
Okay. All right. Well, if I have any questions, I'll let you know between now and Thursday, or Thursday when I see you next.
All righty. Well, you have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay.
If Mr. Rice can hear me, have a great day, Mr. Joy.
Look, he's at the
Okay.
college. I'm not at the
Oh,
college,
oh,
but he's at the college and he's probably in his office talking to someone.
yeah. Just literally
So